Well, hello, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's my audio? Welcome on in. I hope you can hear me okay. I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. Candy Girl, hello, welcome on in. Simply Solo, Kane B, Beautiful Meg P. Good morning, everybody. They thought they were going to gatekeep, huh? ISP was like, nah. Okay, Brian Enton, we'll give it to you first, buddy, but you only get like 24 hours with it. And then we're dropping the link for everybody. You know what I mean? ISP, drop the link in the chat for everybody. Good looking out, ISP. Appreciate that. William Tardy, welcome on in. Justine Cooper, hello. Mittens for kittens. I just don't want to miss anybody. Angel D, well, BB, bitch, how you doing? Yay, Angel D, always good to see you. Cheers, darling. Welcome on in. Thank you for your super sticker, LR. Hello. Tomboy Charm. Quality Emerald. Good morning to you. Trying to get through everything here. I know there's a lot of you. I don't want to miss anyone. Appreciate every single one of you. So, yeah, they thought they were going to get a Witchy, hello. Cheryl, hello. Meg P, as always, thank you for being an amazing mod. And wherever for fuck's sake Fitziana is, tell her I love her. Kane B, yes, amazing mod. There's another one of your amazing mods, friends. Make sure you give give it some love in the chat for your mods. They're all amazing. The Canadian Cat Lady, well, so good to see you. Seahawks fan, hello. Gracefully Salty. Welcome, 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 everybody. Jesse Schul, always good to see you. Always good to see you, sir. All right, so we have a lot to get to, obviously, right? Meg, she told you you're kind of snarky lately, and she loves it. I love it too. I'm here for the snark, all of the snark. I just love the snark because if I don't have a sense of humor, okay, people call me mean, so I guess maybe it's better to just make jokes, right? But then if you make jokes, they tell you you're so insensitive. You have no feelings. Well, can't fucking please all of y'all, right? You could be like the ripest, juiciest peach on the tree, and there's still going to be some asshole out there that doesn't like peaches, right? Nothing you can do about it. So, we have a lot to get into. Brian Enton, I got to say, I just, I'll throw my 2 cents in on this. Um, Personally, I like Brian Enton, right? I'm kind of always here for Brian Enton, not his News Nation shit, his own like thing. I'll even give it to Anfield. Like, don't ask me why. Watching Ashley Anfield on her podcast is so absolutely funny to me. Like, I will be here cleaning my house, and as much as I don't want to give her the click, right? Like, it hurts me to give her the click for her podcast. Ashley Banfield is pretty funny. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, she kind of, she drops some swears and she doesn't care, and like I'll give it to her. Like, I love it. It's fucking hysterical. I'm here for it. I'm here for the part of Banfield, her podcast. I think that if she focused more on her podcast and not so much on News Nation, like if she dropped her contract with News Nation and focused on her podcast and was just really honest about what she thought, I'm all for her thinking Brian's like a sadistic killer, right? But she can't like get on the news and be like, this fucking piece of shit. This is exactly what I think he did, right? But she can do that on her podcast. And I'm here for it. That's what I want. I just want people's truth out of them, right? Whatever their feelings are, it's fine. So, anyways, Brian Enton, back to Enton. I think the thing that bothers me is because I do like Brian Enton. He has perfect skin. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but he literally has like that, like glass skin, right? His skin is stunning. His teeth are perfect. Brian Enton is just a gorgeous human being, right? He's easy to look at. He's soft spoken. He travels all over the place for his, he's a boots on the ground investigative journalist or, whatever you want to call it, right? He's always traveling. And what bothers me is that he got it, right? The families, as far as I know, the families don't have it, right? So if you got it from someone at ISP, like, okay, great, you knew it was going to be coming out anyway, and they gave it to you a little early or whatever. But I don't understand why you didn't. I thought like him and the G's were tight. And to my understanding, I don't think that Enton gave them that. Like, if you got it through a FOIA, right? Be it through your media request or whatever the case may be, if you got it that way, then why aren't you just making it like a publicly available like Google Doc that everybody can access? Why aren't you providing a space where all of those papers that you have laid out in front of you, all of us can also access it? Members of the public can access if they want to. They didn't have to pay for it. Know what I mean? If they did, he paid like per page to print it, allegedly. But so, anyways, Brian Enton, usually love you, but I got to say this one was a fail. If you got this information and you didn't give it to the families before it hit the ISP website and we all got it, like that's wild. But hey, thanks to everybody who donated a few bucks too, because I wasn't sure if I was even going to end up having to pay for anything from ISP, and I was told it was going to be 30 days. So, and then they just ended up. So this is still not what I requested from ISP. I just want everybody to understand that. These are what we're going to look at are just supplemental reports from Idaho State Police. So I just wanted to clear that up. There are still all of my requests that are out there for a lot more than just supplemental reports, just so you know, from ISP. And I have emails back from Matthew Gamet, as well as another contact at ISP Records Department. I have emails from them letting me know it's going to be, 30 days plus. So just wanted to give you guys the heads up on that. As soon as I get everything that I'm looking for from MPD, which is the 200 plus like pics that were released to the media. I also requested the 4 first responding officers' body cams. For ISP, I have requests in for things pertaining to the DNA work, lab contracts, things like that, cost, etc. So yeah. Anyways, just wanted to let you guys know that these are just the supplemental reports from Idaho State Police officers and detectives that were involved, but we will see as we go through them. We also have reports from like literally Department of Homeland Security agents who are interviewing specific people. So I noticed for specific people, they're bringing in Department of Homeland Security, or was it, what the hell was it? What's that other one there? No, not Secret Service. It may have been DHS. I don't know. We'll look at it. Let me come over to chat. Willie, what up, homie? Welcome on in. Thank you for being here. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Happy Saturday morning. Or if it's evening or afternoon, wherever you are, hope you're having a great day. It's Saturday where I am. Sarah, hello. Always good to see you. Becky, Beckles, you're right. It probably all is a narrative, honey. Summer Jade, welcome on in. Good to see you. Okay, hopefully I didn't miss anybody. We'll get cracking on this. I got up to like page 86 out of 556, right? So I got up to like page 86 on my own, just kind of reading, but all right. So welcome on in, everybody. I appreciate you being here. Let's get cracking. If I miss you in chat, so sorry. Hopefully my mods will welcome you in I'm going to be in another window reading, and once I'm in another window reading, I cannot see my chat. So let's get into this. Can you guys see this good? Let me double check. Hopefully you can see this good. Let me take myself out of here. Chad T, good morning to you. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Paco, hello. Good morning, Paco. Can everybody see that all right? I'll take Chad's comment down. Make sure everybody can see that all right. Did you guys see that I put the link to all these docs in a community post as well for everyone? You know, we don't gatekeep around here. And when I do get everything I'm waiting on from MPD, ISP, I'll put it into a publicly available Google Doc for everybody to see. I'm no fucking gatekeeper. You know what I mean? I don't know why the media does that. If you get it, just put it out. No, you want to gatekeep, crop and edit photos. Out of 200 photos, you put out like, you know, 3, 4 of the, we got like a couple of pictures for the rooms, right? That's about it. It's because, you know, and you have over 200 photos. And this is all we get. And they're all like cropped and edited and hazy and, you know, they had something done to them, you can tell. So either way, once I get all that shit, I'll put everything into a publicly available Google Doc for everybody, including body cams, including, you know, lab reports, whatever. If I get it, you guys are going to get it. It's as simple as that. I don't know why people gatekeep information. I don't understand it. You can put it all into a publicly available Google Doc for all of your subscribers, members, right? Anybody, really. You know, I think the only thing I'm going to have to be cautious with is the actual crime scene pics. I'm not going to do like what some of these other people have done in the past where they'll put like certain photos behind a paywall or whatever. I don't want to do that, but I also don't want to just publicly put out a bunch of like really gruesome shit. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm probably going to be really cautious with the actual crime scene pics, and I will do my best to be able to show them to you guys. Like in my, because the video that I'm working on has to do with like blood staining analysis, blood stain patterns, things like that. And we're going to compare prior crime scenes, other crime scenes that coroners and medical examiners use to teach, right? We're going to compare those to what we're seeing here. And it's a similar kind of crime, right? And the blood stain patterning, you know, patterns that are happening between the two. I've been trying to teach myself too, this for like drawing the red strings. So they call it stringing. In, you know, forensic science, when they're determining blood stain patterns and stuff, they'll run like a red string from like every droplet, and they find the points of convergence, and that usually can determine pretty precisely where like that blow occurred, what area of the room, what, you know, in a vehicle, whatever the case may be. And it depends on the size of the droplet. Size of the droplet will determine like how high or spray, like it's wild. There's aspiration spray. There's all of these different kinds of patterning that happens with blood. And when blood's in flight, like you can't control what it's going to do or how it's going to land. It tells the story. It'll tell you the velocity, the height approximately that the droplet fell from, all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to be super careful about the actual crime scene photos. I'm more interested in blood stain than I am bodies. So I hope everybody understands that. That's what that video is going to be all about. So I am working on that. I'm waiting on photos to be able to add into that video for comparison purposes. And once that's all done, I'll post it. And as far as like, if they give me crime scene pics that are totally unblurred, I'm gonna have no other choice than to blur out the bodies, because I'm not gonna be that person. And I hope you guys understand that. I'm more interested in the blood staining on the wall, staining on the bed, staining on the floor, staining on the furniture, and comparing those stains to stains that are in similar crime scenes and what was learned from those similar crime scenes. Because it's all information that I gathered that is used by coroners, medical examiners to teach. So hopefully that explains everything. I'm sorry if that was wicked long-winded. There is a video coming on all of that. Okay. Hopefully my audio is holding up. Let's get into this. Sandra, good morning. Everybody, welcome on in. Give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down, follow your heart. You know what I say. There is actually, I was going to say I could pin this link in the chat for you guys, but I can't because this is my actual hard drive. So if you go to my community tab, I do have a post that has the link to all of these documents, all 556 pages for whoever wants them. So let's get into this. All right. So as you can see, this is Detective Talbot here. This is his initial call out for Idaho State Police for 1122 King Road on November 13th, 2022 at 12:22. For investigative purposes, it's for an agency assist. Let's see. Oopsie, did I block that out? I didn't do that, I don't think. Did I? I did. My bad. All right, so on November 13th, 2022, the Moscow Police Department requested the Idaho State Police District 2 investigations to assist with a multiple person homicide located at 1122 King Road, Moscow. Detective Jeffrey Talbot was assigned as lead. Okay, he's lead. This is first interview, I believe, by James Millar or Miller. I don't know how he pronounces it. This occurs at 1:35, November 17th. Supplement transfer complete. Interview. Approving officer 3421. Okay, it was approved on November 21st. All right. On November 16th, Idaho State Police detectives interviewed Redacted regarding multiple homicides which took place in Moscow, Idaho. The interview took place at Redacted in Boise, Ada County, Idaho. This is, so it lists all of the victims here that they're interviewing this person about. This is witness 1, individual. It's a white male, date of birth 2000, age 22. They're at what appears to be home in Boise. And he also has a home in Moscow. Oh, he has 2. Okay, home in Boise, home in Moscow. Witness 6, individual, another white male, born 1999, age 23. They took buccal swabs here. Evidence, non-drug. November 17th, buccal swabs, biological sample. Link is involvement, witness 1. Date of birth, 2000. So the first one and the second one, these are 2 males that I guess live together in custody, right? Look at this. In custody, yes. Says right here. So that's the property. My bad, Durer. Can he get it together? It's early. Let me get a little coffee in me. This is also says another thing that was taken in is evidence, non-drug, a flash drive with redacted interview audio. Okay, cool. So on November 16th at approximately 3:16 p.m., Idaho State Police Investigations Lieutenant Caitlin and I interviewed Redacted. The interview took place at his parents' house, located at Redacted in Boise. During the interview, Redacted stated the following. His residence at school was redacted Moscow, Idaho. His residence is approximately 200 to 300 feet from the location of the homicide. It had been a little nerve-wracking going outside of his apartment. He knew some of the homicide victims. He knew Maddie and Xana. He had met Kaylee the night before the homicide, but did not realize she was one of the victims until later. He did not know the male victim, Ethan Chapin. What? Lives impossible. I don't care what anyone. I'll shut up. Don't say it, Annie. At this point in the interview, Redacted's mother arrived home and was present for the remainder of the interview. He had known Mogen since their freshman year, and they were in the same pledge class for the fraternities and sororities on campus. Mogen had dated some of Redacted's friends and had positive interactions with Redacted's girlfriend in the past. Redacted had classes with Mogen, and they had done homework together periodically. He and Mogen had a lot of friends in common as well. He supposed he had met Gonsalves prior to that night, but did not recall specifically. He had never met Kernodle's boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, before. Redacted heard Chapin belonged to Redacted fraternity. Chapin was also a year younger than Redacted in school. Mogen was dating one of Redacted's fraternity brothers, Redacted, whom Redacted believed lived in Boise. Redacted had spoken to Redacted earlier in the day on November 16th. Redacted is a stand-up guy. Mogen's previous boyfriend was also one of Redacted's friends and is also a nice guy. He and Mogen were mostly just on and off as friends. On and off Redacted friends. Okay. Redacted friends. Why would you redact that? Mostly just on and off Redacted friends. Friends with benefits. Maybe? I don't know. Saturday night, November 12th, and into Sunday morning, November 13th, at the end of the game day, people went out to the bars. Redacted ran into Mogen at the corner club. Mogen and Gonsalves were going to leave the bar to go to John's Alley. I've seen this come up a lot. And asked Redacted if he wanted to go with them. On the way to John's Alley, Mogen and Gonsalves decided to get food at the grub truck. Redacted was at the grub truck with them, but was hanging out in the back because he was not getting any food. Someone in a silver sedan picked up Mogen and Gonsalves. Interesting. Their Uber driver had a darker colored Prius. Oopsie. Oopsie poopsie. He assumed it was one of their friends. Redacted told Mogen to have a good night. Redacted designated driver shift had already ended at approximately 2 a.m. Redacted's designated driver shift had already ended at approximately 2 a.m. Redacted had a good coat on, so he walked home. So you're the designated driver. Your shift has ended at approximately 2 a.m. Because as we get into these reports, we'll find out that fraternities and sororities always appointed a bro something. I forget what they called it. A bro something. It's your sober bro or girl or whatever that'll come pick you up when you're wasted and get you home. So this redacted person was a designated driver. Their shift ended at approximately 2 a.m. Redacted had a good coat on, so he walked home. So he has a car. He's not drunk. He's the DT, but he walks instead 20 to 30 minutes to walk home from the grub truck. Redacted got home around 3 a.m. Bet you did. And went to bed. Redacted showed him on a map the way he walked home. And the way he described did not pass the residents of the homicide scene. I mean, did you guys just believe him? Probably not. I'm sure that this is ISP. I hope they downloaded phones, man. Especially, I don't care, witness, whatever. Download their phone. Just ask, hey, can we download your phone? Sure, here you go. Sunday, November 13th, redacted. Woke up around 10 a.m. to watch NFL football. Why is this like this? He left his house and went to Floyd's. Bet he did. A dispensary across the border in Washington. I bet he did go to Floyd's. Hey, sidebar. Hey, Payne, Mallory, you're fucking evidence custodian, right? Where's the video from Floyd's? Oh, we don't. I don't know, ma'am. I guess you're gonna have to come watch all the videos, right? That's what she was told. Anne was asking for Floyd's, was she not? Floyd's, Wasson-Curry Construction. There was another one on there. I'm talking to myself. I can't see chat, but you guys know what I mean, right? It's just my brainworms. I'm talking out loud with my brainworms. Let me come over to chat, actually. I hope you don't mind the brainworms. Hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you for being here. Hi, everyone in chat who's just joining. Thank you for being here. Krista, oh my goodness, did you become a member? You're freaking amazing. Thank you for the new membership. You're awesome. Welcome on in. Beep, beep, darling. Beep, beep. Lana, hello. Yeah, Sobro. Thank you. Sobro. Yeah, I can't see my chat. You guys know when I read, I talk out loud, and then I'm not actually reading chat. I'm sorry. Monday's Machine, yes. Wasson-Curry Construction, Floyd's. Anne's like, give me that Floyd's. Floyd's Cannabis Shop. It's a white, you said it's a white, light colored sedan, right? Give me that video. Oh, well, thanks, Lana. You don't know how to be a member? I don't think you can because you're a mod. Maybe it won't let you become a member. It's fine, honey. No worries. You're a mod. I don't expect you to mod either. I hope you know that. It's just a respect thing. I know you're a busy gal. Jane B, thank you so very much. You're awesome. Thanks, guys. Brainworms are great, aren't they, Stephen? You know? Need some Z's. Hello. SRB, hello. Design Rhythm, Sudi, everybody, William. All right, let's get back into this. Appreciate you guys being here. Happy Saturday. All right. So he left his house and went to Floyd's, a dispensary across the border in Washington. He couldn't remember if he went to Floyd's before he started watching football or if he started watching football, then went to Floyd's. He thought it was weird because he drove past the scene on his way to Floyd's and didn't see any police or anything out of the ordinary. Redacted drove a redacted. Okay. He thought it was weird. So he woke up at 10, watched some football, left his house to go to Floyd's, couldn't remember if he started watching the football first or if he went to the dispensary first. So we'll say sometime approximately between 10 and 11, right? He's driving by the scene, drove past the scene on his way to Floyd's and didn't see any police or anything. He thought it was weird. Well, would you think that's weird? Is there supposed to be police there at that time? I don't understand what he means by that statement that he thought it was weird. He drove past the scene on his way to Floyd's and didn't see any police or anything out of the ordinary. Well, why would you, buddy? Why would you think that's weird? I mean, allegedly at this point, between 10 and 11, everybody, the other two is still sleeping. They don't know anything has happened and no one's called anyone and no one knows anything. Know what I mean? It's just a weird statement, in my opinion. Unless they just worded it wrong in their report here. I don't know. During the morning, people called him to see if he knew what was going on down the street at the homicide scene. So during the morning, people called him. Who? What people? Who were calling him? Who are these people? To see if he knew what was going down the street at the homicide scene. Redacted didn't believe them and walked outside to see. Redacted had walked down the street. Redacted had to walk down the street to see the resident's homicide scene. There was a rumor of an unconscious person, which seemed believable. During the group chat between the pledge classes from the fraternities and sororities, kids realized people were missing and something more than a person passed out might have happened. Most of his chats are via Snapchat. Dave with all them Snapchats. Remember when everybody said Dave's a liar? Bullshit. There was nothing on all of these Snapchats. Oh, bullshit. There wasn't nothing on them Snapchats because when you're rushed and you're pledged, all of these fraternities and sororities, they have their own group Snapchats and you have to be in it, right? The group chats for the pledges and stuff, you have to be in them, okay? You don't have a choice. They're all in them. Most of his chats are via Snapchat. Listen to this, some of the family members of the victims started letting people know about the homicide before the news did. Interesting. Redacted heard a lot of people were packing up and leaving. Redacted felt jumpy, even leaving his apartment and walking out to his car. He would be able to do his classes online, so he packed up the next morning and left. He had only been to the residence where the homicide took place maybe once. When he did go there, he was pretty sure it was all different people living there. He heard there was a party there earlier that day and that some of his friends went to. Redacted went to the corner club by himself because he had friends who went there and worked there. Redacted, Mogan, and Gonsalves were the only ones in their group who left the corner club and went to the grub truck. One of the victims, only Mogan and Gonsalves, were out at the bar. What? Redacted, Mogan, and Gonsalves were the only ones in their group who left the corner club and went to the grub truck. So that's Showalter, right? Showalter, Mogan, Gonsalves were the only ones in their group who left the corner club and went to the grub truck. Oh, of the victims, only Mogan and Gonsalves were out at the bar. Redacted believed Kernodle and Chapin were still underage. Okay. Sorry. Redacted thought the car in front of their house looked similar to the one who picked them up that night. What? The car in front of the house that morning looked similar to the one who picked them up that night? It seemed like a friend that picked them up, not a random person. That's your driver. That's that driver. That's fucking Grower. In my opinion only my opinion. He thought the car in front of their house because he's claiming that on his way to the Floyd's cannabis shop, he didn't really notice anything. And when he walked down, because, unconscious person, he's claiming the car in front of their house looks similar to the one that picked them up that night. It seemed like a friend that picked them up, not a random person. People usually use designated drivers from their fraternities and sororities. I don't know why it keeps doing this on me. He thought maybe Kernodle and Chapin might have picked Mogan and Gonsalves up. Interesting. Redacted doesn't usually go to parties. He usually goes to the bar. He heard a rumor there was a party at the victim's residence earlier. Kernodle sometimes would get a little crazy with partying and redacted. Mogan just uses alcohol. Gonsalves, he thought, just drank alcohol only. He doesn't remember meeting Gonsalves prior to that night. After the incident, he heard rumors of Gonsalves having a stalker. Any girl who belonged to the redacted sorority should know about the stalker information. Mogan and Gonsalves, he believed, both belonged to redacted sorority. Okay, well, he's wrong because they both were in separate sororities, as we now know. Redacted had an ex-girlfriend he was trying to get back together with. For most of the past few years, he had a girlfriend who went to a different school, so he hadn't been hanging out with a lot of people regularly. Redacted had no idea who could have committed these homicides. Usually, the craziest thing that happens are people getting MIPs and DUIs. He hadn't heard any rumors about why this could have happened. He thought the only reason someone might have acted out like this is for love. Ah, well, that's an interesting take, Redacted. So Redacted here thinks the only reason someone would want to do something this horrible is because they acted out of love. I mean, Redacted, you have a pretty skewed version of love if you think acting out of love is this. Just my little brainworm sidebar there on that. He hadn't heard any rumors about why this could have happened. He thought the only reason someone might have acted out like this is for love. Heartsies, heartsies, Michael Myers, heartsies. In the chat, there's an emoji there for all you members. You have a Michael Myers heartsies emoji. Go ahead and drop them in the chat because that's what Redacted here thinks. He thinks Michael Myers did this out of love. I want to see Michael Myers emojis in chat. You guys have them if you're a member, just so you know. You have two, but it's the one where Michael Myers has his hands in a heart. Go ahead and put them all in the chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I feel like mods have them, members have them. I don't know. I feel like maybe, yeah, maybe it is for members. I don't remember who I made them for. I'm not a real YouTuber, but I promise they're there. All right. So, Redacted here thinks Michael Myers committed this crime because it's love. LOVE, love. He heard there are videos of him at the grub truck with Mogan and Gonsalves. So this is Showalter, huh? I can't. Okay. If this is Showalter, it has to be because he's claiming that there's rumors that he heard there are videos of him at the grub truck with Mogan and Gonsalves. Hmm. And this is the same place they found all the blood in his house, right? He's the one with the droplets of blood that look just like the droplets on the banister, the guardrail, whatever it was, handrail. You know, what in the actual fuck is happening? Seriously. This is Showalter saying he doesn't know Kaylee. If I'm the interviewer, sidebar, I have to say this and get it off my chest because we've all watched that grub truck video a million times. And in my personal opinion, I've watched it 1,000 times. I thought one of these kids was grabbing Maddie's face with a pair of fucking pliers, for God's sake, at one point, because I had watched it so many times, zoomed in at 300, right? Yeah. So I get it. We all saw some shit that maybe wasn't there, but for him to say that he didn't know Kaylee prior to that night is so unbelievably wild to me. Okay. It's just wild to me because there are videos of Showalter in that house on their TikToks and shit, carrying Xana's little stuffed dog or whatever it was. And like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, for him to say he didn't know Kaylee prior to this is wild to me. I don't understand why he's saying that, number one. Number two, if you go back and watch the video closely, he literally only moves when Kaylee moves. If you watch that video and they all approach, homie literally only moves when Kaylee moves, not Maddie. Maddie's wandering off, hugging people, roaming around, bumping into people. He does not move until Kaylee is done paying for shit and walks to the other side. Then he moves. So, like, I don't get it. If you don't know her, you're only there because you know Maddie. Well, how come you're not with Maddie then? Why are you laying in the cut and not moving until only Kaylee moves? It's just wild. It's just my observation. I don't know shit, no facts here. I don't know shit, but that's my observation from the video. Homie only moves when Kaylee moves. So I feel like he's trying to like put distance, like distance himself. I don't know why I feel that way. I just feel like at this point he's trying to distance himself specifically from Kaylee, and I don't know why that is. It's bothersome to me. It's just my observation, in my opinion. So he hears that there are videos of him at the grub truck with Mogan and Gonsalves. The grub truck live streams videos on Twitch. News outlets have identified him from that video and have called him. Oh, so he says the news outlets identified him, and from that video, they've been calling him. Interesting. Redacted left Moscow Monday morning around noon. So he hung out all day Sunday, laid low, looking out the window, watching, seeing what's happening. Clearly wasn't cleaning his apartment or getting rid of the blood or anything. He wasn't getting rid of the blood like on the shower curtain and stuff or anything like that. So maybe cleaning the car took too long. He didn't have time. I don't know. I'm just throwing, I don't give a fuck. Anybody, you could say whatever anybody, if you don't like me speculating on what I'm reading, oh well. Oh well, too bad, so sad. Find a cry closet. I'm going to speculate on what I read. He traveled home by way of Ontario, Oregon, instead of New Meadows because he doesn't like driving through the mountains. Went through Oregon, hey? Interesting. That's where they found that crashed car, right? In Oregon. I don't know how close in Ontario, Oregon is to where they found that car, but maybe someone else does. With consent, I collected buccal swabs from Redacted. Redacted had no apparent injuries. Why does it keep doing this? He had no apparent injuries to his hands, forearms, head, or neck. Okay. Interview ended at approximately 4:02. For complete details, review the audio recording. Buccal swabs and the audio recording of the interview were submitted into evidence under tag number blah, 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 and as item number 1 and 2, respectively. Cool. That was the first one. Now we have Ryan Hoxie, Idaho State Police. Looks like November 18th, 10:48 a.m. Investigative, agency assist. On November 17th, 2022. What is this shit doing? November 17th, 2022, Idaho State Police Detective Lieutenant Caitlin and Detective Sergeant Hoxie conducted an interview with Redacted. The interview was in reference to the murder of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Santa Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, which occurred at 1122 King Road, Moscow, on November 13th, 2022. The interview took place in front of Redacted's residence located at Redacted, Boise. These are the victims. It says witness 1, white male, 1995, age 27. Okay. Boise. Evidence. So what they got from this guy, some buccal swabs, biological sample, listed as involvement witness, date of birth 1995, and then also his interview. So they also got a buccal swab and interview from this person as well. On November 17th, 2022, approximately 1:02 p.m., Idaho State Police Detective Lieutenant Caitlin and I conducted an interview with Redacted. The interview was in reference to the murder of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Santa Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, which occurred at 1122 King Road on November 13th. The interview took place in front of Redacted's residence. Redacted reported the following during the interview. On November 12th, he woke up, stated watching college football, and then went to the gym. His roommate, Redacted, had a dart tournament at Moose Lodge. Oh, I think this is that Cole kid. His roommate, Redacted, had a dart tournament at Moose Lodge which is next door to the corner club. At approximately 5 or 6 p.m., he went to the Moose Lodge and started drinking. Moose Lodge had a veteran special. They were at Moose Lodge until approximately 9 p.m., and then they went to Mingles. Of course, they did. Mingles Bar and Grill for about an hour. After Mingles, they went to the corner club, but at this point in the evening, he was intoxicated. He did not remember getting kicked out. Yeah, he did not remember getting kicked out of the corner club and did not know why he was kicked out. I think this is that Cole kid. At approximately 11:21 p.m., he and Madison Mogen took a picture together while they were at the corner club. Mogen sent it in a group text to Redacted. Also sent with the photo was a text message saying, "Get to the club, Redacted." Maybe bitch. Get to the club, bitch. Is my guess. Get to the club. Okay. He didn't remember taking the photo with Mogen and didn't remember who Mogen was with. This was also the first time he'd seen Mogen outside of class and school projects. Okay. He didn't remember much from the evening, but said he walked home from the corner club. His address was Redacted, Moscow, Idaho. His roommate, Redacted, got home around 1:30, 1:40 a.m. His other roommate, Redacted, told him he got home about 30 minutes before Redacted at approximately 1 a.m. And that was the end of the night for him. His roommates are Redacted, and they're a couple, or were a couple. On November 13th, 2022, he woke up at approximately 12 p.m. He learned of the incident through a vandal alert that afternoon, which explained the situation. An hour after receiving the first vandal alert, he received another which told him there was no suspect and to remain vigilant. A third vandal alert was sent out that evening while he was at work, which had details of how many victims there were. He didn't know Mogen was one of the victims until Monday afternoon when he received an email from his professor of marketing. He, Mogen, and Redacted are in Marketing Redacted at the university and work together on group projects. They were working on a project for Redacted, which was a cafe in town Mogen worked for. Okay. When they worked on projects together, they would meet and work in basement of the Albertsons building on campus. They would meet and work in the basement of the Albertsons building on campus. He hadn't ever been to Mogen's house and didn't know until recently where she lived. He worked at Redacted in Moscow and has worked for Redacted for 8 years in total. As he transferred colleges, he moved stores with Redacted. His boss said the store carried and sold K-bar knives, but they were an older clearance item. He didn't know what kind of sheath the K-bar knife would come with. He didn't know Kaylee Gonsalves and didn't remember seeing her at the corner club. He didn't know any of the victims besides Mogen. Mogen was the only person from the house he spoke with, and it was mainly related to class projects. He'd only talked to Mogen approximately 4 or 5 times throughout the school year. They mainly used text messages to communicate. He read us the group text he, Mogen, and Redacted used. The last text from Mogen was the photo and text message at the corner club. Redacted responded the following day, which was the last text in the thread. He was attending his last semester at the university and he thought Mogen was going to finish in 2023. He started college at Treasure Valley Community College, transferred to Utah Tech, side-eye, and from 2017 to 2019, he started attending University of Idaho. It's a lot of colleges, huh? 2019, he joined the Army Reserve as a culinary specialist. Yeah, it's cool. After 2 years, he went back to the University of Idaho to finish schooling. He moves around a lot. Why did he have to keep transferring out of all of these colleges? Was there, and I'm not being an asshole, I'm just asking questions. Was there something going on that he had to, like, why? That's 1, 2, 3. Then he goes into the reserves and then comes back to the university. So 3 colleges in 2 years? Interesting. 2 years he went back to, yeah. So in 2019, he joined the Army, culinary specialist, 2 years. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's weird. 3 colleges in 2 years, joins the reserves, does the 2 years for the reserves, and then goes back to U of I. That's a lot of colleges, no? I don't know. That's weird. He never heard of any issues Mogen had with anyone. He did not know if Mogen used any narcotics. They never spoke of anything personal. He didn't have a car and walked wherever he needed to go around the campus. He rode the bus. He rode the bus home to Boise and borrowed his brother's pickup while he was in town. Wonder if it's that black one. Wonder if it's that black one. That black truck Dylan said she saw, right? The one that we can see in the Banfield body cam. He rode the bus home to Boise and borrowed his brother's pickup truck while he was in town. Interesting. Did not have any injuries to his hands, arms, or face. At approximately 1:36, Redacted consented to a DNA sample. Idaho State Police Detective Millar arrived on scene and collected a DNA sample from Redacted, which I took custody of and submitted into evidence for processing. Okay. Next one. This is Vicky Gooch. The Gooch. So Detective Vicky Gooch on, let's see, it looks like November 17th, I think. Yeah, November 17th, 2022, Idaho State Police Detective Victoria Gooch and Moscow Police Department Sergeant Dustin Blaker interviewed Redacted at her residence in Boise. The interview occurred with Redacted attorney present via computer, audio and video. Redacted, an attorney in Moscow. Okay, so there's an attorney from Moscow on this call, as well as an attorney for Redacted. I'm pretty sure this is Dylan, but I don't know. I got to like page 86 of these, and I don't want to confuse. So as we get further, I think this is for Dylan. So Blaker, let's see. They interview her at a residence in Boise. There's 2 attorneys present, an attorney for the witness, and then another attorney from Moscow. Oh, Shannon Gray, I bet. Wonder if it was Shannon Gray. The interview was also audio recorded by me and Sergeant Blaker. The thumb drive of the interview was assigned as tag number blah, 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 blah. Logged in November 20th, 2022. The audio file of the interview had been downloaded onto the thumb drive on November 18th, and the thumb drive was maintained in my sole care and custody until it was entered into evidence on November 20th. So you held onto it for 2 days? Oh, okay. They are interviewing witness 1, individual, white female, 19. Yeah, it's still date of birth 2003. Evidence. I find it interesting here that they're saying they list the property, right? And all they have is this thumb drive, whereas the other guys, it lists the buccal swabs they obtained. Know what I mean? But it does state in this report, as you'll see, that she offers up her DNA, but then gives excuses as to why they might not find the perpetrators because, well, we deep cleaned for Parents Weekend. So I don't know. It's pretty wild. This is Dylan's, I believe. Guys, buckle up. Actually, you know what? Let me take a sip of my coffee real quick because this is Dylan. So let's just buckle up. Everybody take a sip of their coffee. Take a sip of your drink. Do whatever you need to do. Mittens for kittens. Hello, darling. Heather Mosher. Hello. Heather Mosher, you became a member. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Welcome in, new members. I don't know how many of you are here. I couldn't see my chat. I'm sorry. Jen, darling, there you are. OG Jen, what up, gangsta? I am me. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Yes, take a sip of coffee. We're going to get into Dylan's interview with Vicky Gooch and Sergeant Blaker. Typically unique. Look at you. You became a member too. Sandra, oh my goodness. Did somebody gift memberships or something and I'm just not seeing it? Let me come to my chat. If somebody gifted memberships, thank you so very much. I can't see my chat when I'm reading. Jackie, hello, honey. Design Rhythm, Jane, hello. Crime Solver, hello. William Tardy, I am me. Damn, there's so many new members. You guys are awesome. How lucky am I, huh? How lucky am I? Clifton, hello, Clifton Mayo. KP, hello. You guys are awesome. Allie, hello. All right, all right, all right. I know somebody did something and I'm trying to find it. Sudi, thank you so much for your super sticker. Truly appreciate you. Mods, if you see somebody drop like a super sticker, super chat, anything, if you can, like, oh, you guys can't pin it, huh? At least say thanks for me. When I'm in another window, I can't see my chat and I feel so bad. I'm gonna try and star them so I can like read them at the end. You know what I mean? You guys are awesome. It's Meg P. I knew it. I knew somebody was gifting memberships. Meg P, look at you, you amazing queen. I love you. Thank you so much, Meg P, for the gifted memberships. Welcome, new members. Appreciate you. All right. And if there's anybody else I missed, I promise I'll go back and find it and star it so I can read it after. Thank you so much, Meg. You're amazing. All right. Let's take a sip of our coffee. Jiggly Wig, hello, welcome on in. Making homemade Starbies. Sweet. That's the way to do it. I do that a lot too. This morning, I totally needed Sally Schwartz actually needed real Starbies. I have my Nest like it's a Nespresso Virtuo machine, and I can buy like double blonde shots, the little pods, which I do. But nah, I think Starbucks puts like crack or something in it, so it's like McDonald's with the Coca-Cola. Um, they put crack or something in it, and that's why it tastes better. They keep the drugs in it. That's why it tastes better. Too fast for fleas. You're so pretty. P Fox also gifted. I didn't see it. P Fox, thank you so much, honey. I appreciate you guys. You guys are so nice. Too fast. You're so pretty. You got a pretty mouth. You're so pretty. P Fox. Oh, I wish I could find it. Thank you, P Fox. You're amazing. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I think they keep the drugs in it though. Yeah, I know, right? Same jiggly wig. And this isn't even all of it. These are just supplemental reports, you know? This is not even our like FOIAs, our public records requests. It's just supplementals, you know? Jackie, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to try and star these so I remember to get them at the end. It says I got like 16 things starred here, but where the hell are they? Oh, found it. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Lana. Now I can see it. Okay, I can do all of these at the end. You guys are awesome. All right, cool. Now that I know where that is for the love, never even knew that that's where that was. Okay, let me come back to chat. P Fox, thank you, honey. Really appreciate you. Thinkers think, hello. All right, I'm going to hide current comments off the screen. We'll get back into reading documents. This is Detective Victoria Gooch, Idaho State Police, and Sergeant Dustin Blaker. Um, and they're going to interview Dylan Mortensen. So let's get into it. Everybody hit your vapes, take a sip of coffee. I'm telling you, there is literally nothing better in this world than a quad blonde on ice with extra salted caramel cold foam. Simple, to the point, straight punch to the face of caffeine, a little bit of sweetness, all the coffee. It's the nectar of the gods, I'm telling you. All right. I hate this case too, Meg P, darling. I'm with you, my queen. Okay. So, on November 17th, 2022, at approximately 12:05 p.m., myself, Idaho State Police Detective Gooch, and Moscow Police Department Sergeant Dustin Blaker interviewed Redacted at her residence in Boise. The interview occurred with Redacted's attorney present via computer and an attorney in Moscow, Idaho, with the law firm Sullivan Law Offices. Ooh, there it is. Okay, so who is with Sullivan? Is that Gray? Actually, let me come back over here. Who's the lawyer from Moscow that would be attending this? Docket Decoder. Welcome on in, homie. Good to see you, sir, as always. Welcome on in. I just came back to chat real quick because I wanted to ask about this. Who's the lawyer that works at this? I thought it was Gray, but I could be wrong. Hello. Ray, hello. I see you. I think there's somebody else I missed though. I'm sorry if I'm missing people. Hey Ray, how you doing? Welcome on in. Yeah, exactly. Hit your vapes, do whatever you got to do before we start getting into this shit. Sullivan Law Offices. So they're interviewing, I think Dylan. Positive it's I'm almost sure it's Dylan at her house. But there's an there's an attorney from the Idaho, from the law firm Sullivan Law Offices out of Moscow, also attending via a laptop, I guess. The interview was also audio recorded by me and Sergeant Blaker. The thumb drive of the interview was assigned as blah, blah, blah. Audio file of the interview had been downloaded onto the thumb drive on November 18th, and the thumb drive was maintained in my sole care and custody until it was entered into evidence on November 20th. Interesting. Redacted stated the following. She is a sophomore at the University of Idaho studying pre-physical therapy. She has been a University of Idaho student for both years, freshman and this year. She had been residing at the residence where this incident occurred since August 2022. Her friend Redacted and she moved into the residence, and the other female roommates she knew through their sorority, Maddie and Xana, prior to this year. She moved into the residence, and the other female roommates she knew through their sorority, Redacted, Maddie and Xana, prior to this year, and had also met Kaylee before, but Kaylee belonged to another sorority. She explained Kaylee was a senior in the school. She described Xana as being a year older than herself. She also described two additional friends, Redacted and Redacted, but they were not residents in the house. Redacted explained Redacted introduced her to Xana last year. Both Redacted and Redacted reside in Redacted Apartments, an apartment complex on campus that houses sorority members. I think that's the Whites. She described the layout of their residence and where each of the roommates resided, paraphrased based on Redacted's description of the residence. When you walk in, there is a door. There is downstairs with a bathroom and Redacted's bedroom. When you walk into the door, there is a hallway with her bedroom and the kitchen and the sliding door, and upstairs is Kaylee's room and a bathroom and Maddie's room. Xana is on the same floor as her bedroom. Initially, she was asked to describe what the girls did on November 12th, but she described there was a ball on Friday night, November 11th, a Pi Phi sorority ball, which she briefly attended. She explained she started drinking at 4:30 on the 11th. She described the individuals at the ball, including all her roommates, as well as Ethan and his redacted all of this. I'm guessing his brother and sister, his fraternity friend, I don't know. E redacted, and their dates, who were Fiji fraternity members. I don't know what that is. Let me come over to chat real quick. What is a Fiji fraternity member? What is that? First time I've heard this entire case. Maybe someone in the chat could let us know if you know. What is a Fiji fraternity? 'Cause I don't have time to look it up. I don't even have a tab open to look it up. I wonder what a Fiji fraternity is. I don't know what that means. Let's see. She described the individuals at the ball, including all her roommates, as well as Ethan and his redacted. Ethan and their dates, who were Fiji fraternity members, redacted, redacted, and redacted, date, redacted. Okay. What is a Fiji fraternity member? I don't know what that is. Phi Gamma Delta. Oh, maybe it's a typo, you think? Fiji is their nickname. Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Okay. Appreciate it. Didn't know that one. I'm like, what in the world am I reading here? Fiji. I thought maybe the FIJI meant something, like it was an acronym or something, but whatever. All right. Kaylee Gonsalves was blank's date for the ball. Well, I think that would be Dylan's, right? Isn't that why she was +1? Right? Isn't that what Lana uncovered too? Kaylee was like trolling the fuck out of these people because she wasn't in her sorority anymore. So she was getting invited to their balls as a +1, even though she wasn't a member anymore, and like kind of trolling them, I think. I mean, I don't know. I think that's pretty. Redacted described how she got home on Friday night by using an Uber from the Pi Phi ball to their residence. Okay, so Friday night, she uses an Uber from the Pi Phi ball to their residence. She explained she and her roommates normally have Eric. I'm going to say Eric. Maybe not. She explained she and her roommates normally have redacted as their Uber driver, but not on the night of the 11th. She does not remember the name of the Uber driver on Friday night. This was around 8:30 p.m. She explained she and the roommates trust redacted. She advised the party initially transitioned to the redacted, but she got bored and wanted to go home. It was she, Maddie, and Xana and Ethan regarding the roommates who attended the ball. Eventually, a group from the redacted Pi Phi event, transitioned to redacted and the other roommate's house. And there was a party that continued there until the early morning hours of November 12th on Saturday. She requested to look at her cell phone during this point in the interview to verify the timeline. She was advised she could use her cell phone to provide times during her interview. She advised the other individuals that came to the house on Friday night were redacted. Initially, she said it was redacted, but corrected herself to say it was not redacted, but redacted. Fuck my life. Redacted, who came to the house, and redacted as well as herself. I kind of want to stab my own eyeball out of my face. Having to read the redacted. Is anybody else's brain kind of like frying when you have to read it? Because I have to say redacted. What else am I going to say other than redacted? You know what I mean? This is absurd. She advised the other individuals that came to the house on Friday night were redacted. Initially, she said it was this person, but corrected herself to say it was not this person, but this person instead, who came to the house. And redacted as well as herself. They were consuming large amounts of alcohol and playing music. She went to bed a little after 12:10 a.m. and then added she went to bed sometime between 12:10 and 12:30 that morning, November 12th. Eventually, she advised Maddie Mogan came home and eventually Kaylee, but she was not certain about where Kaylee was and when she went to bed. She then explained on Saturday morning, November 12th at approximately 12:15. She then corrected the time to 11:44 a.m. The roommates went together to get coffee and the store to get more alcohol. They still had champagne from the previous weekend, which was, she explained, was the U of I What? Oh my God. They still had champagne from the previous weekend, which was she explained was, this is how they have a type, this is not me, which was she explained was the U of I parents' weekend. She explained the plans for that Saturday night included a redacted Chi fraternity party on campus. Redacted explained Kaylee was not going to this function because she was a senior, and typically seniors do not attend the fraternity functions on campus because they are old enough to go to to the local clubs. Redacted explained she was going to the Sigma Chi party. Oh, maybe it's not Sigma Chi. Sorry. It is. It probably is. Whatever. I don't give a fuck anymore. Redacted further explained at one point Maddie was at this function but left the function to go to the club with Kaylee. They were all at the house together at 5 p.m. on Saturday, November 12th. Redacted stated Kaylee decided to go and take a nap, and Redacted, Maddie, Xana, Redacted, and she were on the couch watching a movie. Redacted explained they were all together Saturday afternoon at the house, and they all decided to take naps, and each of the girls set their alarms for 8 p.m. Redacted believes Ethan may have come over to the house at this time, but she was not certain if this is the time Ethan came over or if he showed up at a different time. Jesus. Redacted explained she had an assignment due in her Psychology 215 course, so she posted the assignment at approximately 10:12 p.m. Okay. I thought you were chugging Borgs and shit, though. What do you mean? You were working on an assignment while you were also chugging Borgs and playing Rage Cage? Is that my convinced you? Oh boy. She believes she left the house at approximately 10:30 on Saturday night. When Redacted left the house, Kaylee was still there with one of her friends. However, Redacted does not know the friend's name. She described the friend was female and was nice. Okay. So Kaylee was still there with one of her friends. However, Redacted does not know the friend's name. She described the friend was female and nice. After leaving the house, she saw Maddie between their residence and Redacted, and Maddie was holding a box of White Claws while she was walking towards their house. She advised she talked to Maddie, and then Redacted continued to the Sigma Chi function. She believed Maddie was going to their residence to get ready and go to the club with Kaylee. Sergeant Blaker asked Dylan to give more details about the route she took when she encountered Maddie, and she provided those details in his interview. She explained when she got to the Sigma Chi function, she wanted to meet with Xana and Redacted. She called Xana on her phone to find out which apartment they were in, and she was told they were in apartment Redacted. Others who were at apartment Redacted at this time were Ethan, Redacted, Xana, Redacted. Dylan explained she and Redacted were going in and out of the fraternity lodge together for part of the night. She explained there were not a lot of people at this function. She further explained after she met up with Redacted, and the two of them then went to Redacted's apartment. She was with Ethan Chapin and Xana during part of the night, and Redacted explained Ethan had been trying, okay, this is Dylan. So Dylan was with Ethan and Xana during part of that night, and Dylan explained Ethan had been trying to get in contact with his sister, Redacted, Maisie, because she had been upset about something and he was worried about her. But Dylan did not know what the issue was. Interesting. Because in Maisie's interview, she didn't tell them that, right? Maisie didn't say nothing about this. So according to this person here, Dylan, she explained Ethan was trying to get in contact with his sister Maisie because she had been upset about something and he was worried about her. She remembered Blank told her brother she had not been answering her cell phone because she had been sleeping. She described Ethan as being very protective of his sister as well as protective of all the roommates. The group of them then went to visit Redacted, who she had previously met through Xana and Redacted and was also there, including she, Redacted. These people were also there, as well as Redacted and Redacted. Fucking fuck. Ugh. When asked how much alcohol she had consumed, she explained she had been playing Rage Cage. Right, so, okay. She explained she had been playing Rage Cage, which she described was a drinking game, and when she awakened from her nap, she consumed 3 White Claws with an alcohol content of 5%. She denied there was any drug use and stated Xana and Ethan used Redacted. She advised neither Maddie nor Kaylee did drugs. She explained she nor Redacted never touched that stuff. She described the alcohol used at Redacted and Redacted's residence, which included Redacted consuming a whole Borg, in which she also consumed some of the Borg. Based on a Google search I conducted, okay, they found out what a Borg was, whatever. The cocktail is often referred to as a Borg, but the nickname doubles as an acronym. Yeah, we all know that. Blackout Rage, whatever. Oopsie. She described Redacted as being extremely intoxicated and that she had continued to consume alcohol. And because of Redacted's intoxicated condition, Redacted advised she invited Redacted to come back to her residence with her to watch movies. And because of Redacted's intoxicated condition, she called a Sobro, which she described as an involving sober freshman fraternity member who is a designated driver for fraternity and sorority members who are consuming alcohol to drive them to their homes safely. She advised it was only she and Redacted that went back to the residence using the Sobro. She did not believe anyone else was home. When the two of them got home, which she believed was sometime between 1:15 and 1:30 on November 13th, she was intoxicated, and because of that, she does not remember what time it actually was, but she believed it was between the two times mentioned, 1:15 and 1:30. She further advised she made popcorn in the kitchen, and she and Redacted watched Vampire Diaries together. Approximately 20 minutes later, Redacted returned home. The three of them laid down and continued to watch Vampire Diaries. She believes Redacted may have walked home, and then she advised she does not know what time Redacted and Redacted went to bed. She had regularly gone to bed and does not know when Redacted may have left or when Redacted went to bed. At approximately 2 or 2:30 a.m., she awakened because Maddie and Kaylee arrived home with grub truck food, and they had mac and cheese, which Redacted explained they normally got. All 4 of them were together, okay, which included Redacted, Maddie, and Kaylee. So Dylan, Bethany, Maddie, Kaylee. Redacted advised they were taking selfie videos, okay. All the girls talked about getting grub truck food. She did not believe Xana and Ethan were home because their bedroom door was open and she did not see them. And she discussed whether she may have been mistaken about this. And then she said she was certain she saw their door was open and they were not home. Okay. So at 2:30-ish, 3 in the morning, Ethan and Xana are still not home. All 4 of them. So the 4 girls, Dylan, Bethany, Maddie, and Kaylee, are home between 2 and 2:30. They're all together. Xana and Ethan, Xana's door is open. She is certain they're not there. She could have been mistaken, but she doesn't think she was because the door is open and they were not home. Interesting. She then went to bed, which she advised after texting Redacted, the Uber driver. Okay, Eric. Redacted look at her phone to determine what time she texted the Uber driver and said her phone said 3:10 a.m. But after further discussion, Redacted admitted she was some confused about whether she was using Moscow time or Boise time. And Redacted explained her timeline may be off by an hour because of this issue. So yeah, there is that hour time difference. So the 2:10 a.m. is when she's texting the driver, right? Or is it 3:10? We don't know, right? Who knows at this point? Brainworms. She explained she uses Snapchat as well as her cell phone to communicate with her friends. She advised if there is a lack of text communications on her cell phone, it's because she transitioned to using the Snapchat app for her method of communication. Well, when did you transition to that and why? She advised her log information with Snapchat is redacted, her passwords redacted. She denied knowing her roommates' passwords to their cell phones. Interesting. So they asked her, do you know the passwords to their cell phones? She denied it. While they were together, they talked about ordering Grub Truck, and then she texted redacted the Uber driver at approximately 3:10 a.m. She explained she texted to redacted, are you driving by chance? At approximately 3:13, redacted texted her back. She then went to bed. She does not believe redacted ever came to their house because she never responded to his text about the fact that he was still driving. Well, no, because you transitioned to Snapchat, right? That's why there's not a text, because you just said you transitioned to Snapchat from texting. She advised redacted the Uber driver is in his mid-30s, is married, has one child. She advised all of the girls knew him and liked him. Redacted advised she is not certain if she stayed awake to watch more Vampire Diaries episodes or if she went to sleep. She was not certain if she locked her bedroom door, and she was not certain if she locked the sliding door because she was the only one who usually did. Uh, uh. So it's Dylan's responsibility to make sure the door's locked. And according to her, she's the only one who usually made sure it was locked. But she also volunteered in her statement that she believed Moscow was a safe place, so the sliding door was not always locked. Interesting. She does not remember if anyone locked the sliding glass door before she went to bed. She was the first to go to bed ahead of the other roommates. She explained that she previously has had a lot of dreams where she had been kidnapped in her dreams. And she further explained that these types of dreams started in high school. And she knew they were dreams, and she would let those things happen in her dreams because she realized they were dreams. What? She advised she does not suffer from anxiety and denied prior life trauma other than divorced parents. Let's read this again. She explained that she previously has had a lot of dreams where she had been kidnapped in her dreams, and she further explained these types of dreams started in high school, and she knew they were dreams, and she would let those things happen in her dreams because she realized they were dreams. What are they asking her? I want to hear the audio of this interview. I want to hear the questions. I want to hear the questions she's being asked. Because why would this even be your answer? Why would you even be mentioning this? What does dreams of you being kidnapped have anything to do with what happened in the house? I don't understand the association. I don't understand what she means, but she allowed these things to happen in her dreams because she knew they were just dreams. What do you mean allowed what things to happen? I don't understand why she's associating what's happening in this house with dreams of her being kidnapped, right? Let me come back to chat. Sidebar. Does anybody understand what that means? I want to hear the audio because I want to hear the question they ask her. There's obviously a question she was asked here that's not included. Or maybe there isn't a question and she's just like offering up this random, like, I don't know. I'm just saying. Um, I'd be interested in hearing the audio. Redacted explained She was awakened to a noise sometime between 4 and 4:20. Well, that's a problem, because, allegedly Kohberger hasn't even pulled into the neighborhood until 4:07 a.m., so that's a problem. She was asked to explain the amount of alcohol she consumed before going to bed, and she again explained while she was playing Rage Cage, which included the White Claws, part of the Borg, and maybe 2 or 3 more drinks at the house. She denied drinking after she left redacted house. She advised she had been consuming the alcohol until approximately 1:15, 1:30 on Sunday morning. She denied drinking any more alcohol after she and Redacted got back to her residence. At 4:22 a.m., she confirmed this information by looking at the text communications on a cell phone. She texted Kaylee asking her what's going on. She advised her phone said 5:22, which she advised would have been 4:22 Moscow time. She advised around 4 a.m. or 4:20, she heard Kaylee singing and playing music. She heard who she believed was Kaylee walking up the stairs, and Redacted advised she heard Kaylee say, quote, "Someone's here," and she sounded frantic. Redacted described Kaylee's tone as somewhere between talking and yelling. She believed it was Kaylee who was walking up the stairs with Murphy. She said she heard who she believed to be Kaylee running down the stairs. She advised Murphy was barking at the time. Interesting. So he's already barking, huh? Early? I thought he didn't start barking till like 4:17. Redacted advised she had been redacted. I, I have no idea what's redacted out there. I don't understand what's redacted here. She said she heard who she believed to be Kaylee running down the stairs. She advised Murphy was barking at this time. Redacted advised she has been redacted. All of it. Don't even know what that is. She does not believe Murphy is normally a barker. She further stated she believed it was Kaylee who was running down the stairs after she heard her say someone is here. She further explained she does not know if she actually heard this or whether she was drunk and did not actually hear any of this. Oh my God. She heard the footsteps of who she believed to be Kaylee. She explained all the girls wear Doc Martens, and that is what she believed. She was hearing Kaylee coming down the stairs wearing her Doc Martens because of the sound of the footsteps coming down the stairs. Maddie had on Docs. I don't think Kaylee did. I think Maddie had on black Docs. Interesting. Redacted called Redacted at 4:19 a.m., then Xana at 4:20, Kaylee at 4:20, and then Redacted again at 4:20. Redacted advised Redacted told her about seeing fireworks, so Bethany. So Dylan advised Bethany told her about seeing fireworks. She texted Bethany a last time at 4:27 a.m. before she went to Bethany's room. Dylan then explained when she first opened her door, and she said she did not see anyone. The second time when she opened her door, she heard who she believed to be Kaylee crying, and and Dylan believed Kaylee was in the second floor bathroom. She then heard a male voice, which she stated she had never heard before, say, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Dylan believed the unidentified male was in the bathroom with the person who was crying. She believes it was Kaylee who is the one crying. Dylan stated that now she has gathered additional information. She now believes it was probably Xana who was crying. At the moment of hearing the crying, she stated she believed it was Kaylee who was crying. She advised she knows the male's voice was not Ethan's. Interesting. She described the last episode of Vampire Diaries, and she remembered it was two males rescuing a female. Interesting. two males rescuing a female. And as we get further into this, we'll see she feels like she's protected from the perp. The perp, even though she doesn't understand it. Well, I think that, it feels like this person was protecting me. Oh, from what? Why? She explained it was not violent. She advised the male figure in the last episode was wearing all black, but Dylan explained that was normal for the series. She is not certain whether she heard Murphy barking during this time she opened during during the first time she opened her door, but she advised it was possible he was barking, but Murphy was moving away from the house. So the barking she's hearing sounds like he's moving away from the house. She described Murphy was a puppy, and redacted had just met him in August. Dylan had just met him in August. She could not describe Murphy as being skittish. She advised she opened and closed her door a total of 3 times, and the 4th time is when she left her bedroom to go downstairs to Bethany's bedroom. Dylan advised she continued to call and text her roommates, but received no answers. She provided the times she called and texted her roommates, and the time span she advised would have been between 4:20 and 4:27. She advised she never thought about an intruder, and in her mind, she stated she was not processing what was occurring as threatening. 4:20 to 4:27, she's calling, and she's not processing any of this as threatening. Okay. She advised she believed the male was directing his conversation of who she believed was Kaylee. She advised she did not believe the male was directing the statement to her. So they must have asked her, "Do you think are you sure he wasn't talking to you, saying it's okay, I'm going to help you?" No, he's talking to Kaylee or whoever was crying. In discussing why the offender did not harm her, it was discussed that it was possible the male knew her and wanted to protect her. Okay, from what? She said she understood that was possible, but she denied knowing who the suspect was. Number 63 alone, right here. Just number 63. You could stay stuck on stupid with this. 63, it's what? 2 sentences, 3 sentences? In discussing why the offender did not harm her, it was discussed that it was possible the male knew her and wanted to protect her. And she said she understood that was possible, but denied knowing who the suspect was. Protect you from what? Why would it be possible this male wanted to protect you and kill those 4? Protect you from them? Why? Why is that? Why would you even think that? Why would that be an option? Why would that be possible even as an option? You understand? She understood that it was possible. Well, why would that be possible? What would this person feel like they need to protect you from those 4? For what purpose? I can't wait to hear the audio of this interview and the questions she's being asked for these answers to be coming. You know what I mean? So, in discussing why the offender did not harm her, it was discussed that it was possible the male knew her and wanted to protect her. And she said she understood that was possible, but she denied knowing who the suspect was. Dylan further explained this, she Snapchatted Ethan, but received no answer from Ethan. Dylan thought Ethan was still either at Sigma Chi or was at home. She was not certain. The 3rd time Dylan opened her door, she said her vision was blurry or fuzzy, but she advised she saw a figure of someone that was dressed in all black, and they were masked, and he was holding an item of what she initially perceived was a vacuum. but she said that did not make sense to her. She described the suspect as not being muscular, but being skinny and toned, like a basketball player. She further described him as being taller than her, 5'10". She further described him as being taller than her 5'10" frame by at least 3 inches. So he would have been 6 feet in height. She advised he had to have heard her call Kaylee and Xana, and she thought he would have had to have heard her calling for them, and she was confused as to why he did not come to her room. She described the item the suspect was holding, which she advised was like a cylinder, and she remembered a cop talking about a bow. Well, when was that? When was a cop talking about a bow? So she was trying to ascertain if what she saw was in fact shaped like a bow. Dylan further stated she thought that maybe it was a firefighter because of what Bethany told her about seeing a firecracker. She advised he would have been approximately 3 feet away from her, and she believed she saw him walking out the back sliding glass door. He had looked at her before walking out the back door. She was not sure. She was not certain if he could see her whole body or just her head. At 4:22 a.m., then Dylan corrected her time and stated 4:23 a.m. She advised she texted, redacted, and they conversed about someone wearing all black. So she texted Bethany, and they conversed about someone wearing all black. And Bethany said something to the effect of, "What the fuck? Why is Xana wearing all black?" Dylan explained she was not certain if she had been dreaming this or if it was real. Mm. Mm. Oh boy. Dylan explained she saw the suspect holding something she believed to be cylinder shaped and also shaped like a triangle at the bottom of the cylinder shape. She advised the suspect was approximately 3 feet away from her. He looked at her, but was walking out the sliding door when she saw him. Hmm. This is why Ann Taylor said that's impossible. It wouldn't have been in your line of sight. Your view would have been blocked unless you're standing in the hallway looking at him. You'd have to be out in the hallway. He's already at the slider going out the door. You'd have to be in the hallway because your line of sight from that room, you're not going to be able to see it. She said she saw his eyebrows. Hmm. At approximately 4:23 a.m., she texted Bethany to tell her she saw a masked suspect in the house. Bethany responded at approximately 4:25 a.m., telling her to come to her bedroom, and it's better than being alone. Dylan then left her bedroom after opening her door the 4th time and ran to Bethany's bedroom downstairs. Dylan advised when she left her bedroom, she looked down the hallway to Xana's bedroom and she could see Xana lying on her back in her underwear, but she thought at the time Xana was passed out. Dylan stated she never went into Xana's bedroom and she could only see Xana from the hallway as she was running to get to Bethany's bedroom. She advised she was too scared to go into Xana's room, and she knew Bethany was awake, and she knew to go there because she was scared. So why didn't you call 911? She saw Xana was wearing her underwear, and she explained Xana was comfortable enough with the roommates that she would wear her underwear around them. So this is not unusual. What about Ethan? What about Ethan being naked? Right? How come they're not asking her about any of this? When asked about the lighting conditions inside the residence, she advised that possibly Xana's light was on or the party lights were on, and that is how she was able to see Xana, because otherwise she would not have been able to see, she would not have been able to see her lying on the ground, lying on the floor without any lights being on. I got to put my glass on. Sorry, guys, give me 1 second. I need my blue light blocker thingies because my eyes are starting to go wobbly. Where are they? All right. Xana's lights were on, the party lights were on. Okay. She was not certain if the bathroom lights were on, but she was what? She was not certain if the bathroom lights were on, but she was not certain what lights were on, if any. Jesus. She advised Xana did not say anything. Dylan stated she did not think anything was wrong. She later offered she may have been able to see Xana lying on the floor because they also had a Sensi light. And it could have been she was able to see Xana from the Sensi light. She explained she has been trying to determine what was real from everything that she had been talking about with Sergeant Blaker and myself. She advised she knew the time with Redacted, Kaylee, and Maddie were real because she has video of them together. She was not certain how Redacted and Redacted got home that day. She further explained she has been trying to piece things together because some things do not make sense to her. She stated that she is being truthful, but some of what she has been discussing, she's not certain it's factual. Oh my God, this is their fucking key eyewitness. She has been working through it to try to remember what happened. Dylan was asked if the female who was crying was saying anything, and she advised no. The female was only crying, and the male was the only one talking. Male is the only one talking. She described the item the suspect was holding was cylinder-shaped and was also triangular-shaped. She could not remember if the lights were on or off when she encountered the male suspect. She advised she does not know if this is even something she saw or if it's something she dreamed. Oh my God. She advised the last time she saw Xana was at Redacted's house at approximately 11:04 p.m. Dylan confirmed this by checking her cell phone. Xana had been holding a White Claw. She was at Redacted at 12:49 a.m. She further advised Xana and Ethan did not stay at Ethan's house with any frequency. Because of Ethan's grades, he could not reside at the fraternity. He had his own apartment, but she does not know where his apartment is because she had never been there. Okay, so I'm going to sidebar here because this is what really nowhere in any of the Moscow Police Department reports, and so far what I got through here for ISP, have I seen anything about they have located Ethan's apartment, they've searched it, nothing. Anybody else? Let's take a little sidebar. Let's take a little sidebar. Where's Ethan's apartment? Obviously, at some point, his parents would have had to cough it up where his apartment was, right? They would have found where the apartment was. So where's Ethan's apartment? Was it ever searched? So Ethan was not living at Sigma Chi, even though I know his family has tried to say for a long time that Ethan, nope, he was at the frat. He wasn't living with them. They're right. He wasn't living with them at King Road, but he also had his own apartment because he wasn't allowed to stay at the frat house due to his grades. Right, exactly. So Ethan had an off-campus apartment. Correct. Yep. Need some Z's. Exactly. Yep. Never been mentioned. We're going to take a sidebar and we're going to look at this and just talk about it for a minute. I'm going to take a couple sips of my coffee. So, furthermore, what if they're not staying at Ethan's apartment with, no frequency, right? So Dylan here is stating, Ethan has his own apartment because his grades were so bad he couldn't be at the frat house. Cool. She doesn't know where the apartment is. Okay. So she doesn't know where this apartment is, though. She's never been to it. My guess is Ethan probably kept his apartment a secret for a reason because he didn't want these people trashing his apartment or his parents or something. Like, if the cops get called or I mean, I don't know if I'm paying for an apartment for my kid because they can't stay in their frat house that I'm already paid the dues for, right? I'm going to be like, you best not have the cops showing up at this place the first time I'm told. And I don't know. I just want to know where's Ethan's apartment and was it ever searched? Did they ever do an actual forensic sweep of the apartment? Yes, exactly, Pamela. Yes. And Xana's dad did make it sound like they were living together. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe Xana and Ethan were living together and they just had to keep it a secret or something. I don't know, but um it's pretty interesting. So Ethan has his own apartment, apparently very close by too, to the house. So that's why I'm super interested. Like, well, where was it? Was it within walking distance? Know what I mean? Did they ever obtain a search warrant for it? Lock it down? Do a sweep? You know what I mean? It's just wild. Rex. Hey, Halls, how you doing, Rex? Welcome on in. As one, good to see you. Always good to see you. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a great day. Welcome on in, everybody. Thank you for being here. Misty Jane, hello. Who else am I missing? Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Yeah, right. Krista, isn't this wild? You're screaming in your yard, honey? Yeah, it's wild. So Ethan has his own apartment. Apparently they kept it a secret. Okay. Whatever. I just want to know if they ever actually, I haven't seen in any of the reports yet. So I've gotten to like page 86 or so on my own that I was reading. I haven't seen anything yet about Ethan's apartment being located and um, forensically, checked, but maybe it's in here. I don't know. It's 556 pages, so maybe it's in here. Yeah. Everybody hit that thumbs up. Welcome on in. Take a little break. Hit your babe. Take a sip. 'Cause I need to. Thank you, everybody, too, for gifting memberships. You guys are awesome. Meg, P-Fox, whoever else, welcome in new members. If you got a membership today, make sure you say thank you to the person who gifted you because that's amazing. And that was so nice of them. Yeah, they're not talking about Ethan's apartment, huh? Nobody's even talking about it. It's wild. Okay, so she further advised Xana and Ethan didn't stay at Ethan's house with any frequency. Because of Ethan's grades, he could not reside at the fraternity. He had his own apartment, but she does not know where his apartment is because she had never been there. She knows Kaylee and Maddie were home when she went to bed, and Dylan, oh, and redacted. Wait a minute. So she knew Kaylee and Maddie were home when she went to bed, and Bethany, and from when she saw Xana lying on the floor, but she was not certain about whether Ethan was home. Okay. She advised she left Redacted and Redacted's house at approximately 12:49 a.m. to return home. Redacted stated she is certain at 3:11 a.m., which through discussion may have been 2:11 a.m. Moscow time. Redacted, Kaylee, Maddie, and she were all in the house. Okay, so it's Bethany. She was not certain about Xana and Ethan because she does not know when they came home. She denied perceiving a threat even after encountering the male in the hallway. She said there were people coming in and out of their house all the time. She denied remembering what his face looked like and said she could see that his head and mouth were covered, but she could see his eyebrows, and further advised she was not certain she could see his nose. When asked if she knew what a balaclava was, and she said no, so I asked Sergeant Blaker to show Dylan a picture of a balaclava from his cell phone. And upon looking at a picture of a balaclava, she said that could have been it. Hmm. She does not remember seeing his mouth or nose, but she could see his eyebrows. When asked if any of her roommates told her about prior incidents involving anything that concerned them, and she advised Kaylee had told them, redacted, and the other roommates about an incident a month prior when she was outside with Murphy about a subject who had been watching her. The subject was in the apartments above the girl's residence. Hmm. Redacted further explained that 2 to 3 weeks ago, while at Winco, Kaylee told her about a male subject who followed her from the Winco store all the way to Kaylee's car. Even when Kaylee went to leave, the subject was standing by Kaylee's car. Also, 2 to 3 weeks ago, all of the roommates went to Starbucks together, and when they got home, their front door was wide open, and they do not believe it had been open when they left. She explained there were prior issues with the front door. So she said it was possible the door was open because there has been a snowstorm, and she explained possibly the wind caused the door to open. Also, when they got home, the washer was going, which she described was not unusual, but this also concerned her. What? She explained because of these things, they went to get Ethan's golf clubs to protect themselves when they searched the house. Oh, so maybe there's a bunch of people's fucking DNA all over these golf clubs. And she's asked a question about, well, hey, so we found Ethan's golf clubs in the house, and it's weird because it's got like all these fucking people's DNA on them. Yours, Bethany's, whoever's. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember we all went to Starbucks and, we all had to pick up these golf clubs because we came home and the door was wide open. That's why our DNA is all over everything, you know? Yeah, yeah. Because we came home one day and the door was open, so we picked up the golf clubs for protection. I'm spitballing here. I'm just spitballing. My opinions, no facts here. Read the documents yourselves, come to your own conclusions. Dylan explained weeks prior to the 13th, Kaylee told the roommate she heard a woman scream, but no one else heard it. Kaylee told the roommates she heard a woman scream, but no one else heard it. Dylan was asked if she was telling either Sergeant Blake or I anything to prevent us from solving this. Oh boy. She advised no. Well, I mean, they're not going to admit it now, are they? So Dylan was asked, are you sure what you're telling us here is the truth and you're not trying to prevent us from solving this, Dylan? Remember in that other report, Gooch? Gooch says, Dylan, listen, it's wicked important you only tell us things that are truthful, Dylan. And they're asking her, are you sure you're not doing anything to prevent us from solving this? That's fucking interesting. She advised no, that she understood my question, and she advised that she knew she did not sleep through the whole incident. Yeah, because they're asking her, but they're like, nah, bitch, we know you weren't asleep. We know you're awake. We know you're texting on your phone. We know this motherfucker looked right in your face and he didn't touch you. You couldn't have been inside your room because we have the shoe prints. It's just wild, I'm telling you. I can't wait to hear the audio of this interview. She advised that she knew she did not sleep through the whole incident because she has texted communications and other things that she knows would have required her to be awake. Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Now you're putting it together, huh, Dylan? Oh, yeah, fuck, they're going to see my text, and obviously I'm fucking awake. I can't say I was asleep. Then it turns into, well, yeah, I was just fucked up, and I was super intoxicated. I don't know. I don't even know if it was real, man. Don't even know if it was real. I thought I was just passed out dreaming. She advised she knows what she advised she knows what she heard, especially about hearing who she believed was Kaylee crying and the male voice telling her he was there for her. She advised she knows what she heard. And she says, especially I know what I heard, that Kaylee is crying and the male is telling her he's there for her. She stated again she does not know how much of what she had been telling us was not factual because she is still processing the events. When asked why she believes she was spared, when asked why she believes she was spared after the male suspect saw her, she said she does not know why. And she does not believe anyone ever tried to open her door during the time he was in the house, and he could have easily done so. And why he would have passed by her room multiple times, she volunteered that to come through the sliding glass door, a person would have had to have scaled a tall wall. Fuck is she talking about? She advised the suspect would have known her room and would have been occupied because he appeared to have known the layout of the house. She also said it could have been someone who was in the house last year when other girls were living in the house. She advised there was no one she knows who would have wanted to hurt the girls, and the girls were loved by everyone. She said she had never even heard rumors that were negative about any of the victims. When asked about Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, Dylan advised the breakup was mutual and they have their dog Murphy in common. And Jack comes to their residence and plays with Murphy, and he and Kaylee continued to be friends. When asked if they co-parented Murphy, she says yes. Kaylee told her the relationship with Jack had run its course. Dylan thought Jack handled the breakup well because every time he came to the house, there seemed to not be an issue. Dylan brought up the name Redacted, but she mispronounced his last name during the interview as someone she and others believed might be involved. So Dylan gave the police someone's name, a male's name of who she and others believed might be involved, but she was reluctant to say he was a suspect because she knows how damaging to his reputation that could be if he were not involved. Interesting. Mispronounced his last name, huh? And it would be damaging to his reputation. So Dylan and a few others already had someone they thought might be involved. And she didn't want to say that his name, she didn't want to say he was a suspect because, it could be damaging to his reputation. She advised she was told by Redacted, Xana's best friend, that Redacted once punched a friend of theirs, Redacted, in the stomach last year, but did not know the circumstances as to why. So whoever this person they're talking about, Dylan was told by this Redacted person who is Xana's best friend that this person, Redacted, the suspect, alleged suspect, once punched a friend of theirs in the stomach. Dylan advised that recently Kaylee started talking to Redacted and Jack seemed okay with that. So Kaylee was talking to someone, huh? Dylan offered her DNA. Okay. Sergeant Blaker secured a swab from Dylan at the conclusion of the interview. Fuck. Blaker did it. Fuck. She advised there might be difficult. Listen to this shit. Dylan advised it might be difficult to locate the offender's DNA because they had conducted a deep clean of their residence leading up to Parents' Weekend. When asked about when the deep clean of the residence occurred, it would have been before the weekend of the crimes. We advised Dylan there was evidence left in the residence, and she sighed and said she was glad to hear that there was evidence found at the scene. Interesting. She explained her redacted, all redacted, whatever that means. So this was so interesting to me because she offers her DNA, offers up information that, hey, by the way, it might be difficult for you guys to locate this offender's DNA because we conducted a deep clean of the house for Parents' Weekend. And then when they're like, okay, so when did you do this deep clean? She's like, "Oh, parents' weekend." And they're like, "Yeah, that's the weekend before the crimes, right?" Right? So why wouldn't his DNA be there? If you deep cleaned it the weekend before the crimes, and then they advise her, "Hey, by the way, yeah, no, actually, there was evidence left found at the scene, Dylan." And she's like, "Ah, I'm so glad to hear that evidence was left at the scene." That just holy shit. That one, bro, 94 and 95 just kind of blew my mind, and I can't wait to actually hear the audio of this interview. I'm not gonna lie, and I have no idea what this means. She explained that her redacted is all redacted. Okay. When asked if she would be able to provide a description to a police composite artist, she said she would not be able to describe enough of the suspect to be helpful. She further advised the only thing she remembered about his face was that his eyebrows were bushy. She advised she was confused about why the offender would have taken the patio door out of the residence because of the drop off from the patio. She advised she remembered that cars do come by the residence a lot, and she said there was a black truck driving past Redacted's window. That's Bethany. And she further said she was not absolutely certain it was a black truck. So she's downstairs in Bethany's room at some point, and she's seeing this black truck drive past the window. And if it's the same black truck on the Banfield body cam, I mean, that truck is in and out of there, I want to say like 3 something a.m. But there was a vehicle that went by their residence, and she could see the taillights, but she did not remember if the headlights were on. But what drew her attention to it was the red lights on the back of the truck. Hmm, interesting. Black truck driving past. She's in Bethany's room. Oh, okay. They can see the truck. She was asked if she meant the brake lights, and she said yes. When asked what occurred after she went into Bethany's bedroom, she said they eventually fell asleep and she was awakened. When she was awakened, she was lying next to Bethany. She was lying next to Bethany in Bethany's bed. She advised a friend of theirs, Redacted and Redacted's mother, are planning a memorial event, and that has helped her emotionally. She advised Redacted is crying a lot over this, but she has not been crying. And Redacted has explained to her why she has not been showing emotions. She explained Redacted used the word disassociate to describe her emotions. When she awoke that morning, Redacted was next to her in bed. They were both too scared to leave the room to even go to the bathroom. Really? But you didn't call 911? You are so scared. You're scared to leave your room to even go pee, allegedly, but you haven't called 911. Okay. She advised at approximately 11:23, Redacted then corrected the time to 10:23 Moscow time. She texted Maddie asking her if she was up. At 11:29 Moscow time, Redacted texted Kaylee, "Are you up?" She could tell her Snapchats were not being read when she was texting them through Snapchat. Dylan advised she called Redacted, one of her closest friends, about what happened that night with the masked man. Dylan then explained when she reached out to Redacted in the text message, which Redacted told her was at 10:50 a.m., but she thinks Redacted was mistaken. Redacted told her she would send Redacted to their house because of the concerns about what had occurred during the night. When Redacted got to the house, which she described was before noon, she is not certain if he came in through an unlocked front door or had to use the code to get into the front door into the residence. And when he got into the house, he asked about the location of a knife, and she directed him to a knife. She advised she initially went upstairs from Redacted's bedroom with Redacted, and she advised when she saw Xana, she realized Xana had not moved since she saw her earlier. She was still thinking Xana was still passed out from being drunk. She then sent Redacted then sent Redacted downstairs. She advised Redacted and Redacted came over after Redacted came to the house because she had asked them to come to the house. She advised Redacted, then came downstairs, and she could tell by his facial expressions he had seen something, and he told them to call 911. Redacted was the one to call 911, and Redacted at one point said she was on the phone with police dispatch, and the dispatcher was asking her about a defibrillator. They told dispatch there were people unconscious. They told dispatch there were people unconscious. Redacted denied seeing Xana or any of the other victims' bodies. She advised they stayed in the house when the police arrived. They stayed in the house when the police arrived. And they, the police, were putting the tape up when they realized there had been a crime. And when they saw the ambulance arrive and leave, Redacted told them they would not leave unless there was no reason to stay. She then advised the vandal alert came out, and that is when they realized their friends were actually gone. She advised they all realized there had actually been a murder committed in the residence. She said Kaylee had a balcony, and she remembered looking at the pictures in the news, and Kaylee's curtains were all messed up. She thought the distance of the balcony to the ground may have been too much and brought too much attention, if that is how the suspect made entry into the house through Kaylee's bedroom. Her curtains were all messed up, according to Dylan here. When asked if she checked the house for anyone else when she initially came home for the night with Redacted, and she was asked if she had to unlock the front door, she advised she believed she had to unlock the front door to get into the residence. She advised when she first got home, she remembered the sliding glass door was closed, but she did not know if it was locked. She advised when she first got home, she went to Kaylee's bedroom to let Murphy out of Kaylee's room. And Kaylee's lights were on, and no one was in Kaylee's bedroom. Murphy came back into the house after going outside. Sergeant Blaker asked Dylan about the login and user for the router Wi-Fi at the residence, and Dylan advised Kaylee was responsible for that bill. She further explained neither she nor Redacted were responsible for the Wi-Fi bill because they had just moved into the residence in August. Redacted had some follow-up questions for Dylan outside of the interview, and as a result, the audio recording was turned off at 2:11. This same date. My guess is this is the lawyer from Moscow had follow-up questions for Dylan outside of the interview. Okay, and so that's it for Dylan. Just so you guys know. So I don't even know how many of these we got through already, but that so far was just, I think we got through, what, 3 of them? Oh my God, Lucy, let me come back over to chat. Hi, everybody. Sudi, hello. Lucy, hello. How are you? My dark queen. How you doing, honey? All right, so isn't that wild? We've only gotten through, I think, 3 reports here. Dylan's was pretty long, though. I mean, this live is already almost 2 hours and 10 minutes, bro. That's wild. We've already been here 2 hours and 10 minutes. Are you serious? It doesn't even feel like that. Yeah, back to Vampire Diaries. Can we talk about that next time? Talk about what, honey? Oh, the extra room. Yeah. Oh, don't you worry. We'll get in there. So that fucking door is. The door. Lucy, I know, still just as confused, huh? Yeah, William, I know, right? Her lawyer did do a horrible job. Jesse, stargazing. Hi, honey, you got a membership. Oh my goodness. Welcome, welcome, all you new members. Welcome, everybody. Even if you're not a new member, welcome new subscribers, welcome new members, mods. I love you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great day. But we've been here for 2 hours and 10 minutes already, and we've only gotten through, I think, 3 or 4 reports. Let's take a sip of coffee. Ah, yeah. I just want to know where Ethan's apartment is and whether or not it was ever searched. That's all I want to know. Where was it? How close to the crime scene is it? And was it ever forensically searched? That's all I want to know. Know what I mean? Um, so wait, if Dylan let Murphy out, who was she with? Murphy would get lost. But if she put him on that patio leash, she would know if she shut the patio door, or did she leave it open? Yeah, I know, right, honey? Brainworms. I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you. It sounds like she let the dog out and then claimed the dog came back in. I don't know why she'd be up in Kaylee's room letting her dog out anyway, unless Kaylee asked her to. But like, I know when I lived with roommates, my roommates knew, don't go into my fucking room for nothing if I'm not home. My door stayed locked. And if I found out anybody was in my room, like, you're not supposed to be in my room. It's my room. I don't go in your room and you don't come in mine if I'm not home. That was just a rule with roommates, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe Kaylee asked her, go let my dog out if you get home early. Do you mind letting Murphy out? I don't know. But I thought it was interesting. It was actually Dylan who let the dog out first. Then we have Bethany telling a story about how it's actually her and Maddie taking the dog out when Maddie gets home, not Kaylee. So, I don't know. Yeah, Canadian. I don't know, honey. I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Jesse, right? She didn't care about Murphy. It didn't seem like for a certain amount of time. I don't know though, Canadian cat lady. So far, what I've gotten through on these reports, I haven't seen yet anything about Ethan's apartment. So I don't know where it is. But Dylan's interview is absolutely insane. It's just insane. I don't even get it. I really don't. I know, right? I don't think it's that she hated Murphy. I just think that if you know something's going to go down in the house, you don't want the dog to get hurt, or you don't want the dog possibly fucking attacking, defending its owner, defending people. You're going to make sure the dog is somewhere else. That's just, right? Standard operating procedure, I guess. If you want to commit a crime, maybe you're going to try and lure the dog away or let the dog out, or the dog already runs off into the trees and shit anyway. I mean, to me, it just seems like the whole thing was a fucking setup. I don't know who set it up. I don't know why they set it up. I don't know if it was supposed to be a prank and the prank went horribly wrong or fucking whatever. But it sounds wild. And it sounds like Dylan here is describing like that's why she was so scared and that's why she didn't want to believe it, because it was supposed to be a prank. It was supposed to be a prank and we don't know what the fuck happened, and I'm not even sure like if I is it real? Did I imagine it? I don't know. It just seems to me like something went horribly wrong and people are trying to separate themselves from being at fault for the thing that went horribly wrong. Nobody wants to have to be the person to accept the responsibility for what went horribly wrong here, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. You know, if it was supposed to be a prank and then turned into not being a prank, and I could see why you'd want to distance yourself, why you'd say, oh my God, like I didn't want to believe it or whatever. We stayed downstairs scared. Like, I'm having a hard time believing that. I just am. I really am. I'd be interested in the phone movement, the steps taken on the phone, if they were dumb enough to have their phones like in their back pockets while they're cleaning blood or something like that. It's going to count their steps. I just think that it sounds to me the plan all along was to make sure Murphy wasn't in the house when shit goes down. But that's just my opinion. I don't know shit. No facts here. Just my opinion. Right, exactly. Steps from their phones, their smart watches. Right. Health data. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah. The whole thing is wild. All right. So now that we got through Dylan's report, let's see what we have next. So next, this is 3421 Kenneth Beckner, Detective Sergeant. He is doing interview ISP District 3 office in Meridian on November 18th, 2022. He is interviewing a witness, individual, Hispanic, female, born in 2001, age 21. I think this is that either the person who was with Dylan in the house or the one whose name began with a Y that was with Bethany. I don't know which. Evidence collected is non-drug evidence. It's an interview. On November 18th, 2022, at approximately 12:42 p.m., Idaho State Police Detective Sergeant Ken Beckner and Trooper Andrew Weinstein interviewed redacted at the ISP District 3 office in Meridian regarding the homicides which occurred, blah, blah, blah. She lived at Redacted King Road, across the street from the 1122 King Road house. One of the people across the street was a former sorority sister, one was a classmate, and the other two were people she knew through mutual friends. She knew Maddie and Kaylee the best. Her boyfriend was best friends with Mogan's boyfriend, Jake, so they hung out a lot. This was a current relationship. Mogan was in a class with her. Gonsalves was a sorority sister. She knew Xana and Ethan in passing. She has lived at Redacted King Road for just the semester and is currently a senior in school. She lived in the sorority house for 3 years, and this is the first year outside of the sorority. She has been inside the 1122 King Road house multiple times, with the last time being in September. They came over to her house more often. She had known Mogan and Gonsalves for 3 years. They met through recruitment. She saw Mogan and Gonsalves Saturday night, November 12th. They went to the corner club after the game. Mogan and Gonsalves were already there when she arrived. She was there for a couple of hours and was really drunk. She left before Mogan and Gonsalves. It was sometime around midnight. Gonsalves had jokingly mentioned that she thought she had a stalker at Winco. It happened once and was an unknown person. She heard from another friend an instance of the house door at 1122 King Road being open after all the roommates returned from a weekend trip. She has a basement room and can see the 1122 King Road house from it. She woke up at 9 a.m. on Sunday. She didn't hear or see anything that night. 1122 King Road didn't have a party on Saturday night. They may have had one on Friday, but it wasn't crazy. Mogan and Redacted were a solid couple and had dated for a year. Redacted was with her boyfriend in Boise that weekend. Interview concluded at 12:52. Okay, so this person wasn't even home. She was in Boise for the weekend with her boyfriend. All right, next we have 3424 David Cortez, Detective Sergeant. November 18th, Sergeant Dave Cortez and Chris Pohanka interviewed Redacted. This interview took place at Redacted's residence located in Buell, Idaho. It lists the victims. This is a white male individual born in 2000, age 22. They live in Buell. Evidence collected, non-drug. The interview. And looks like this person is listed as involvement witness. On November 18th, 2022, at approximately 11:55 a.m., Idaho State Police Detective Chris Pohanka and I interviewed Redacted. The interview took place at Redacted's residence, located at Redacted, Buell, Idaho. Redacted relayed to us the following. He is roommates with Redacted. He has known Kaylee since freshman year. They were in the same pledge class, so they've hung out together periodically over the last 4 years. He has visited her house in Coeur d'Alene once. He knew Xana as well, but not as well as Kaylee. He also knew Maddie as well, but they didn't hang out a lot. Kaylee and Redacted had been dating since high school. Okay, so this is Jack's roommate. He is roommates with Jack. Haley and Redacted had been dating since high school. They're on and off and have broken up twice. They had recently broken up because she accepted a job in Dallas. What? Thought it was Austin. So they were settling things before she left after the semester. They broke up about 2 months ago. Okay, so this is so confusing. We were told that they had been only broken up for a couple of weeks, that she decided to break it off because she got this job and blah, blah, blah. But we were told the job was in Austin, not in Dallas. So I didn't realize they had been broken up for 2 months. Um, Her parents said it had only been a couple weeks, but everybody else is saying a couple of months. And they said she got a job in Austin, but this person's saying a job in Dallas. Okay. He never heard from Kaylee about anyone stalking her or giving her bad vibes. He had heard there was someone following out her Winco a couple months ago. He heard from friends she had someone follow her out of the Winco to her car. He heard that story from Redacted, a sorority sister of Kaylee's. Redacted is in California right now, and her phone number is Redacted. Hang on, guys. Hot flash incoming, and I got to take off. I need to put a fan on me. Hang on, hang on. Oh my God. I don't wish it on anybody. Sorry, friends. Give me 1 second. Your girl is getting old and I'm having a hot flash and I need to make sure that I don't melt over here. We're going to go through a few more and then I'm going to end it anyway. I got some things to do today and stuff. Cat K, hello. Good to see you. I just came back over to chat because I'm having a hot flash. I had to literally take, like, no joke, I had to take my shirt off. I'm sitting here in my sports bra because your girl is melting and I need to put fans on me. If you can hear the fans blowing at me, I'm sorry, friends, but I can't melt. I can't. So I'm very sorry if you hear the fans, but they need to be on me. And I needed to actually take my shirt off and just sit here in my sports bra because I'm fucking dying. Dear God. I don't wish this on anybody. Yeah, ice packs are nice. All right, let's get back into this. Much better, much better, much better. He had never heard from Kaylee about anyone stalking her. Heard about that. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Phone number, California, redacted. He works at Redacted in Moscow. So he knew Kaylee, Maddie, and Redacted. Redacted leave, Redacted together that night. That was the last time he saw them. What? He saw Kaylee, Maddie, and Blank leave together that night. That was the last time he saw them. Is this Adam? They said they were going to John's Alley. There it is again. And we're trying to get some friends to go with them. They didn't end up going there, though. He didn't know where they were before they showed up at Redacted. He had seen Xana at some parties, but didn't really know her very personally. He tried to recruit Ethan into his fraternity, but otherwise didn't really know him. He doesn't know of anyone who might have wanted to hurt any of them. They were all really nice people. Redacted wouldn't have harmed Kaylee. He loves her and thought they would be married. They have a great relationship even when they are not together. He is a calm and kind person. He's into sports and not an outdoorsman, and he doesn't have a knife. He has never heard Redacted even say anything bad about Kaylee. There is an apartment complex behind the victim's house that has a lot of sketchy people in it. There are registered sex offenders, yeah, like the ones Kaylee was looking up, living in it. There are registered sex offenders living in that complex behind the victim's house. That place is behind Redacted apartments. There are windows facing the girl's house, and it's adjacent to it. It's a brown brick apartment complex, so Queen Road. He's talking about Queen Road. So the Queen Road apartment complex behind the victim's house has a lot of sketchy people in it. There are registered sex offenders living in it. The place is behind blank apartments. There are windows facing the girl's house and it's adjacent to it. We concluded the interview. Okay. How long is this one? It's kind of long. All right, this might be the last one we do. Actually, no, you know what, friends? Sorry, what page are we on? We're on page 24. Not bad. We got through 24 pages. I'm going to hold it here. I'll probably come back on live later, but I got some shit to do today. So what I'm going to do now is stop sharing this and just come and have a little chit chat. What page did I say? 24. We're going to kick it off. I'll come back in a few hours. We'll start back up at page 24. Probably do it for like, I don't know. I know it's Saturday night, you know, I don't like staying up late, so maybe I'll try and do it for like earlier after dinner time, maybe like a 7-ish time frame. What do you guys think? I might be able to squeeze one in right around there after dinner, but I do got some stuff to do today. So when I kick it back off later, we'll start at page 24. Yeah, Adam was roommates with Jack D, right? No, I know all that. I was just confused about whose roommate they're interviewing here. You know what I mean? Yes, yes, there is. Usually, Sudi, you are correct about that. There's supposed to be a certain feet away or whatever from schools, campuses, things like that. Yep. He is into camping in the outdoors, mittens for kittens. That's what Steve said. That's all they do. Jack and Murphy, they're always off in the woods, sometimes for days at a time, camping and stuff. So that's interesting. Yeah, Krista's new. Krista asks a lot of questions, guys, but don't be mad at her or nothing. She's new to this, she says. I think Krista's new to the case, and she does want to try and learn as much information as she can, you know. So, then again, I can't keep an eye on my chat either. I haven't, when I'm in another window reading, I can't even see what you guys are talking about. So, well, Simply Solo, I appreciate you. And you're a member. Look at that. You're green. What is that? Green, right? You're green. That's amazing. Welcome. Welcome. I will be doing videos and stuff for members only and things like that. We'll do some members only lives coming up, you know, stuff like that. So originally I was like, well, what the fuck am I going to do for members? What am I going to give you guys except my lives with some bad audio and some snarky bullshit? You know what I mean? I'm like, that's all I really have to offer is my smart ass mouth and some bad audio, you know? But I did figure out how to make videos. I'm teaching myself how to do pre-records and stuff like that. So there will be stuff for members coming up very soon. Don't worry. You guys will have cool things. I may even make like some of my shopping things for members only and stuff too. So if any of you who are my members are also into shopping, just so you know, that's what I really do. I shop a lot, and it's usually like Walmart, Target, Home Goods, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Dollar Tree, Five Below, you know, all that good stuff. And I take you guys with me, and while I spend money, and we do it together. We spend money together, and it's a lot of fun. So, you know, I'm going to get going. I'm going to go do what I got to do. I hope that you guys, I know that by the next time I see you, you will have probably already heard 40 other creators get way further than me. But I still hope to see you back here. And I'll try and pop back on later, maybe like around 7-ish. And we'll kick it back off and go through some more stuff, yeah? I'll put my time around everybody else's lives tonight. I'll try and squeeze myself in somewhere where I'm not interfering with someone else's, but see what we can do. Thank you so much for being here, Sandra. Thank you to everybody. Mods, thank you so much. Everybody who got a new membership today, congratulations. Thank you to every single person who chose to be a member. Thank you to everyone who gifted memberships. You guys are awesome. Seriously. If you sent a super chat or a super sticker, thank you. I'm looking for them right now. I have a bunch of shit starred, and I'm trying to go through them. Angel D, thank you, honey. Appreciate you. Real Tea with Krista Marie, new member. Welcome on in. Truth and Transparency, $2.99 super sticker. Get it. Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling. Truth and Transparency with another super sticker. Thank you, honey. Oh my God, Lana, another super sticker. Thank you. Sudi, super sticker as well. Thank you. Kame B, you're awesome. Peaches, new member. Yay. Appreciate it. Krista Marie, gifting 5 memberships. Sudi, new member. P Fox, also gifting new memberships. How'd I get so lucky? How'd I get so blessed? Seriously, you guys are awesome. Penny for your thoughts, new member. Welcome on in, new member. William Tardy, beep, beep. Welcome on in. Meg P, gifted 5 memberships. Beep, 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 beep. Sudi, thank you. Too Fast for Fleas. You're so pretty as always. Real Tea, Krista Marie, gifted another membership. You guys are awesome. You have no idea how much I truly appreciate it. I really do. And I hope you guys go have an awesome day. Try to enjoy some of your day. Go get some fresh air, get some food, get a snack, do whatever you got to do. And I'll shoot for like 7, 8 o'clock. I'll see you guys tonight, okay? We'll catch back up tonight. Mods, love you. See you soon, guys. Bye. Go enjoy your day.